So now we're going to talk about the anterior pituitary. So this is, again, diagrammatic. But let's go ahead and label. This is the hypothalamus. The infundibulum. And the anterior pituitary, so ant-pit. All right, so we know that here, this red thing in here is the portal system. Okay, so this is the hypophyseal portal system. So this is the first capillary bed. This is the first capillary bed. This is the second capillary bed that are connected. And this capillary bed, the first one, is the one that is going to receive releasing hormones from these nuclei up here. So these nuclei make releasing hormones. So the first one is one we saw with the posterior pituitary. So this orange one here, this one here is the paraventricular nucleus. And the paraventricular nucleus makes, the first thing it makes is CRA, corticotropin releasing hormone. So CRH. Okay, so corticotropin releasing hormone. So CRH, corticotropin releasing hormone. So that hormone is released from the paraventricular nucleus. So there are neurons in there that secrete their stuff out of their axon terminals into the first capillary bed, which is, of course, located in the hypothalamus. It will travel down here, and it will stimulate a cell called a corticotrope. Corticotrope. And that corticotrope will be stimulated to secrete ACTH, adrenocorticotropic hormone. All right. The paraventricular nucleus also makes TRH. So TRH, this is thyroid releasing hormone. And it is released into that first capillary bed, travels down here to the second one, and it will target a cell called a thyrotrope. That thyrotrope will release TSH, thyroid stimulating hormone. All right. This blue nucleus is called the arcuate nucleus. Let's put this, I don't run out of room, but arcuate nucleus. And the arcuate nucleus secretes GHRH. So GHRH. So growth hormone releasing hormone. And it will secrete the growth hormone releasing hormone into that first capillary bed, and then it will come out and will target a somatotrope. And the somatotrope will release growth hormone. All right. It also releases PIH, which is prolactin inhibiting hormone, also called dopamine. And if you think about the words prolactin inhibiting hormone, so it will also target a cell called a lactotrope, and it will stop the secretion of prolactin. So when we need prolactin, then hypothalamus secretes less or no dopamine or prolactin inhibiting hormone. All right, this last nucleus is called the pre-optic nucleus, and it makes GnRH. So GnRH is gonadotropic releasing hormone. And it will target a cell called a gonadotrope. And the gonadotrope will secrete two hormones. FSH, which is follicle stimulating hormone, and LH, which is luteinizing hormone. All these hormones, of course, are dumped into the systemic circulation in the blood. So the gonadotrope, how does this one releasing hormone release both FSH and LH? Because we don't always need the same amount of those two hormones, or those hormones at the same exact time. So basically the gonadotrope, if we look at it up here, so here's a gonadotrope, here's a gonadotrope. Okay, so when there are high levels or a more frequency of the gonadotropin releasing hormone, so high frequency, then we end up with LH. If it's a slower or low level of GnRH, then we get FSH. Okay? So those are the hormones of the hypothalamus and the anterior pituitary. So you need to know all of those, the releasing hormones and the hormones that the anterior pituitary secrete. Okay. We will talk specifically about each one in lecture, and there's some videos on the thyroid gland and the adrenal gland that will talk more specifically about those particular hormones.